Welcome to Kat's Country. Today we're going to paint an ocean scene. We're going to start out with acrylic and we're going to finish with oil. There's no reason why you have to do it in oil. You can actually finish it in acrylic, a thicker acrylic if you want to. I've got an old canvas that I found at a yard sale and it has a drawing on it. Well, it's going to be my base today. So let's get your supplies together. The acrylic I'm using is Academy acrylic. I've got like a light teal and a darker teal and a white. You just want a lighter color and a darker color to distinguish between the ocean and the sky. In fact, on this painting, somehow I started out thinking the top was going to be darkest, but ended up turning around because I liked it the other way. Okay, and what I do is I just squirt a generous amount on your canvas. The canvas was already primed before it had penciled on. And if you want a smoother canvas, you can do a couple coats of gesso on it. I do about a 1.5 or 1 inch brush. You can even use a sponge brush for this base coat. And what I do is I just kind of, the longer the streak, the longer the stroke is, the less spots you have. And I always try to do darker up top, and it gets lighter near the horizon. But there's no right or wrong way in doing the base coat. You do you. And just smooth strokes back and forth. If you get too much paint on your brush, you can wipe it off on a paper towel. And if you don't have enough paint, you can always add more to it. And I think I'm going to get away with just one coat on this. I just want to cover the canvas with some color at first. And you can paint the edges of your canvas. This would be a good time to do that if you want to. I think it looks better if the sides are painted. See how much paint I have on the bottom. So I wipe that off and just wipe it on my paper towel. I'm not the best in filming, but I'm trying. I just did the edge on the bottom. Of course, it's off camera. And see, I'm trying to keep the darker on the bottom. And you want the horizon line to be straight. And I'll straighten it up a little later. But right now I'm just trying to get coverage on the side and the whole canvas. And see the streaks right there? I'll come back and smooth those out some. It looks like a hot mess right now, but it'll look better later. I'll put the exact colors in the description below, so if you want it to look exactly like this, you can. But you can use any acrylic you want. I just kind of wanted something a little teal colored. I've been painting so much of the light blue and dark blue lately. You can actually go towards the gray tones too. See, I'm just smoothing it out. And I know I have some spots. Actually, it might not really matter because I'm going to put clouds and waves on top, but you do not have to be too particular about this. And the one thing is, if you overwork it, you'll end up with just one color. And it's okay to have darker areas and lighter areas because the sky and the water does have lighter areas and darker areas. Okay, make sure your canvas is really dry, and I'm going to take some medium and just kind of brush around the sky. And with the oil paints, what I've got is I've got some permanent purple, ultramarine blue, cerulean blue, some black and white, and some yellow gold ochre. And the brand I'm using is Master's Touch, and I just got that because it was on sale at Hobby Lobby. And what I did is I just tried to mix several different shades of the cerulean blue with a little bit of white. I added a little yellow ochre to it, or golden ochre. And then I made some darker and lighter shades with that. And then I did the same thing with ultramarine blue. Made some darker and lighter shades. And then I also put a little bit of the purple in a couple of them. It's good to have several different shades so whenever you go to paint. And I'm going to take some of the cerulean blue and I'm just going to put it at the top of the canvas. And it moves very easy since I put some medium on my canvas first. And I didn't overdo the medium, I just put a very little on my brush and just rubbed it in the canvas. It allows it to move easier. You can use liquid if you want. It does the same thing and it dries faster, but I usually just like Gamsol or some type of medium. I'm going to do my horizon line. And this I'm doing with the ultramarine blue. And I've still got some medium in my brush. And I'm mixing it a little bit cerulean also. And I'm just trying to get that line a little straighter. Like I told you earlier, we get that line better. And you know, the sky sometimes is completely the same color it looks like, but most of the time there's darker areas and lighter areas. And once I put that medium and a little bit of blue, I'm going to come back in and put some lighter areas. And I'm going to use a mop brush in a little while too. I've tried using a makeup brush. You know, it's a very soft brush is what a mop brush is. This is just a regular 1/2 inch. But the mop brush, whenever you're doing clouds, it kind of softens it. I'm taking a thin coat of paint and I'm just kind of putting in some color. And I'm doing like a back and forth. And then I'll do a different side. Just kind of put some different clouds in there, different layers. With clouds, it's really fun to layer them. I'm going to get my mop brush now. And a mop brush is a very soft brush. It's kind of like a makeup brush. In fact, I tried using a makeup brush on it, but the bristles come out so much, and then I end up with bristles in my paint. You see it just slowly go back and forth real light with a very light touch with the mop brush. And that just softens some clouds. I mean, if you want to and you like your clouds, you can actually start right now, but I like to put clouds on there. So I'll probably do a lot more clouds. And you can take the mop brush and just kind of wipe it on a paper towel and then come back so that way it doesn't smear the paint more. A little round motion with the mop brush really does good, getting that paint off. And then I'm going to layer in some more clouds. You know, if you like the clouds like they are, you can stop or you can keep adding. You can add some more and then do the mop brush and then add some more and do the mop brush. I do like to put a little bit of purple or gray in my clouds, especially towards the bottom. Sometimes I end up with a little bit too purpley cloud, but I'll fix it later. See, I got a bristle in a little bristle out of my brush. Mop brushes tend to do that a lot. If you do, it's best to get it out while it's wet. And then you can add a little. I'm not using just white, I'm using white that has some color in it, some blue in it. And you can have your cloud go off the edge of the painting or off the top of the painting. It doesn't have to be just right in the middle. And like I said, this is not white, it's like a pale blue. You can come back later with a little bit of white on the top, it's just a little bit. Layer them clouds. I mean, if you think they're too stark, go over the mop. You don't have to use the mop as much as I do, but it's fun to play. I like to layer them. Towards the horizon, the clouds are usually very small because they're so far away. And so they will get smaller the closer you get to the horizon. In fact, sometimes it's nice to put a couple very small ones. I'll do that in a little while. I kind of like to mop just the bottom of it and leave the top a little fluffy. And you do want your clouds to all be a little different shape. Sometimes it's hard. They all seem to end up the same. So make some small, some big. Some touching each other, some not. Just play with them. I'm getting a little lighter paint now. I'll do some in the horizon a little while. Tiny little clouds way in the background. They kind of look a little too even, but I'll fix that in a little while. Just pop them down a little bit. I kind of like to layer them whenever I do it. Clouds are actually fun to do. Take your time and just play with them. You may get to a point that you think is perfect, so stop if you do. I love to play with them, so I'm probably play with it a little bit too much. And now with the ocean, I'm going to use some of the darker colors, and I'm going to do some light areas and some dark areas, because what you're going to be doing now is what you see under the wave. I'm going to do like one long wave here. It's going to be like a crashing wave. About around here. This is where it's going to be folded over. And I'm going to put some sand down here. And I am so sorry, I'm not a very good filmer. I will get better. But what I'm doing is I'm just taking a little of the gold ochre. And I'm mixing a little bit of white with it too in certain spots. And I'm just going to put that edge. I'm just going to put a tiny little, maybe a ½ inch thing at the bottom of sand. I'm going to have mostly water. And see, I'm using a scruffy brush and I'm just scruffing it in. And see, this is going to be under the water. I'm going to have an area that looks like the sand showing through. Just scruffing in at the bottom and try to fix the camera so you can see the bottom there. Let's see, I'm just going to put some sand right here in the corner. And all the way down here, and I'm just roughing it in, because I'll have the wave on top of the edge. All right, I'm just roughing in a little bit. I've added a little bit of the gray or a little black or white to that area. I've got all the colors linked to in the description below. And I'm out of medium, so, and I keep my medium in a little bottle with a lid, and I put it in an old cap, like a Coke cap, a bottle cap, and I just reuse it from there. If it gets grody, I throw it away and get another little cap, like a lid from an old juice bottle or something. It actually kind of looks grayish, but it's, you know, it's more of a blue. And I'm just kind of blending it together a little bit. You can use your mop brush on this too if you want, but I just use my little ½ inch or 1 inch brush. I think we all have certain go-to brushes. I have some Royal Sable, I think they're called Langnickel. I love those brushes. I'll probably be using that one in a little while, but this is just a little ½ inch flat. And this is just putting some color in the background. Decided I want a little bit more color over here. I've picked up some of that blue with some of the purple in it. Most of the time when I paint, I don't really know what I'm going to end up with or what I'm going to be doing. Sometimes the picture has to tell you what it's going to be. Put a little darker blue on the edge of the ocean. It looks very crooked from here, but I think it's the angle. We can straighten it out a little while. Add a little medium in it too, and it makes it flow easier. You'll be surprised how fast this comes into shape. Right now it does look like a hot mess. I'm going to add some blue areas here and there. Picked up a little Prussian blue. I just wanted a little different color in there. It'll make it look like there's shallow areas and darker areas in the waves. And this is going to be my big wave. You can step back and look at your painting and see if it's looking like what you want it to do. We'll start adding a few waves, playing with the water. And I'm not putting this on very even. Waves are kind of jumpy. And it's, you know, you can always come back and soften it if you put too much. Or you can go back and add more if you put too little. Try to figure out where my wave is going to be. I'm trying to make them very uneven. And closer to the horizon you get, the smaller the waves are going to be. Try to think where I'm going to put this. Okay. I think I'm going to do the crashing wave right here. And the water's going to be kind of, the top of the wave's going to be right there, and I'm going to have it kind of splashing down. And I am using just white, but it's got blue in my brush and it's got blue on my palette. So it's not really clear white. And a lot of times I'll pick up a little blue to kind of take that dark white off. This is how my waves go. It's going to kind of be splashing down that way. And I've got some white on the top of the wave, and now I'm just kind of bringing it down, and it's going to get smaller as it goes to the right. I have it go all the way across. I'll come back to it and add more in a little while. I think this is going to be some of the water where it puddles at the bottom of the wave. And I'm just kind of going back and forth a little bit and letting it touch here and there just to kind of put some highlights of the wave. I think I'm going to do the edge right here. And this I will use more paint on the brush. I'm just going to bring this all the way across. Sorry, my arm's in the way. If I didn't have it on camera, I probably would have spun my painting around and used it the other way. Just putting shimmers. I guess that's what we can call it, shimmers. And see all that color at the bottom? It looks like the bottom of the ocean now, doesn't it? And see right there, I kind of did it a little too straight, but I'll come back and fix that. Like I say, once you put them on, you can step back and look and see what you need to do. And we'll work on our wave in a minute. I want to bring this up a little bit. And see the darker blue, it almost looks like the water's deeper there. I want my wave to be a little smaller over here. So I'm kind of bring the water, flat water up. And not wash, but I kind of wipe my brush on my paper towel if I have too much on it. Trying to do it where y'all can see where I'm not covering you up with my arm. And the direction of the water is kind of splashing down, so we'll darken this up a little bit. little bit more darker underneath the wave. Kind of lost my color there. And I'll come back and bring the splash back down. And underneath where I guess the foam goes on the beach, you want to darken that little edge at the bottom, because that makes it look like the foam is on top of the sand. And you can do that with some of your golden ochre with a little black in it maybe. You can do some brown if you want there. You can even mix a little blue with the black or just do brown. And I definitely want to bring more white on that top of that foam. That needs to be very bright. And it's not going to be one straight line either. It's going to be back and forth. Could be little waves. Beginning to look a lot like a sea foam in it. I'm going to kind of blend that into the water a little bit here and there. Now I'm doing some tinier little beginning to look like water. We'll work on our wave in a minute. A little bit more white. And it's just splashing down. And it's not going to be completely the same all the way across. There'll be lighter areas and dark areas. Uneven. And this is like one of my favorite go-to brushes I was talking about. This is like a Royal Langnickel sable brush. I use these brushes so much I rub them down to nubs. And then I'm going to go back and just kind of pitter-patter here and there. Make some waves, some splash. I want it to be light or at the top on a couple of areas. This wave right here is splashing. And like I say, you can do this in oil or you can use an acrylic. The oil's going to stay wet longer. give you more time to play with it. That could be good or bad. It's easy to overwork things. And that wave right here is going to be splashing down in the water right here. That's why I'm putting a little bit more in the water and on the top there. You can sit back and put your picture on the mantle and just kind of look at it for a day or two, and you'll see exactly what you need to do. Most of the time, things you don't like about your painting, nobody else will notice. Just going to lighten up a few little areas. Pooling in the water there. And I'm not doing it the whole wave exactly, but I kind of blend it out at the edge here. Well, I hope you enjoyed painting with me today. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I thank you for watching. Come back and paint with me again.